Hey folks, Fat Guy Flies RC here, coming to you from the man cave. Number one, yes, I'm drinking coffee. Number two, I've got a ratty old shirt on. My wife said, hey, you're going to make a video and you're going to wear that ratty shirt. Yes, I am. So that's, now that we've covered that, that's out of the way. All right, what we're doing is we're doing a Maiden post build or assembly of the HSDJETS Cessna 182. All right, first off, let's go over the build. The build was very simple. However, my unit that I got, you know, you're supposed to be able to snap the vertical stabilizer in, and you're supposed to be able to snap both halves of the horizontal or the elevator. Mine, and you're supposed to hear a clicking sound. Well, mine did not do that. It does say in the manual that if you're not happy with the snap, you may want to put some glue. So I did glue in my vertical and my horizontal stabilizers. And they will, you know, there is a place where you can tell they're together. And when I, you know, supposedly snapped mine in, I was able to fairly easily pull them apart. So my snapping mechanisms for the horizontal and the vertical were not that great. I was able to fairly well pull them up with very little pressure. So I put the contact cement, just, you know, little white tubes of glue you get from every model, and they're nice and secure. And I'm very, I'm very, I hate to use the word anal about things, but about when it comes to security of my control surface and my flight, you know, I'm worried about that. That's why I was very skeptical about these antenna connections to hold the wing on. And so I glued that in. They're nice. I didn't use an epoxy, just a regular contact cement. Back here in the back of the on the horizontal or the vertical, whoa, that little fin that goes through there, you have to be careful. You got to look for it's in your box. It's in the styrofoam, but it's like camouflage, it's white on white. But it's there. It sits in a pocket. It does friction fit in there, but I glued it in because that's not something I'm going to be taking apart. Now, the wings have one big main spar that's kind of a light pink sort of color, and then there's another spar, there's a shorter spar towards the back that is a light pink in color metal. I'm going to go ahead and just take one wing off and show you what I'm talking about. Now, when you go to put these wings on, it's similar to the Carbon Z Cessna 150 in that you have the cotter pin and drop down pin at the bottom of the strut next to the fuse in that instance. Now, here's where it separates it. On the Carbon Z Cessna 150, the antennas are ornament or for ornament look. They just, you know, they're just for show. In this model, they're functional. This is what actually holds the model in. Now, I want to show you, I don't know if you can zoom in on that. Mine is all from me taking this wing on and off. Mine's already developing a crack right there. So I'm going to put some good glue on that and maybe put a piece of fiber tape or something around that to hold that together. And I have they're like $12 at HSD. I went ahead and ordered me another set and a prop. Prop's 20 bucks. Okay, so you pull that out, and I like to just put my hand here, and then with my other hand grab the wing, and then just kind of pull out. And there's those two pink wing or purple wing spars. It has a quick connect, slides in. You can see the quick connect there. You can see the quick connect within the frame here. And if you look right here, there's this little channel where my finger is. Well, that's where this antenna pops down in there, and then it goes, and then when the wings attach it, it also attaches in there, and that the, antenna holds this part of the wing in. most of the wing is held in by the friction of both of the wing spars and your strut. This is just to keep the wing from sliding back and forth. But on the Maiden, I didn't do any loops and rolls, but I was doing some banking and landing and taking off and stuff. So there was some pressure on it, and these little antennas held just fine. RC Geek, when on his channel, he was a little skeptical of this type of connection also. Then they're just a little plastic. But he said he was doing snap rolls and all kinds of stuff, and there was never an issue. So I'm okay with it. So, but just to let you know, if you take these wings on and off, which this is what this is designed to do, it's very hard the first time you put it. It's like the channels for these spars are super tight, and you have very little. So I would take a little bit of Vaseline, or, well, maybe not Vaseline because that's got a petroleum base. Maybe like some Dawn dish soap, or I'll be honest, at the field I use some spit, and just put that on there. But Dawn dish soap would be good, or any dish soap. Not necessarily, I'm not trying to do a brand here, but just line that up there, and then wait until you get almost to that connection, and then reach down here, pull your wing up just a little bit. Just say, pull your wing up just a little bit, and then let that fish in to where it rests, and then go ahead and go in the rest of the way. Okay? And that's how you assemble the wing. Drop in your pin. Drops in. You might have to wiggle the wing a little bit. Find your hole, which, I mean, I'm just demonstrating. There's a hole there. Take your cotter pin, slide that through. Now that's in there. Now you're going to take your antenna, and I just kind of pop it in there. Keep them, grip on both sides. Might have to finagle your wing a little bit. Now watch this then. Okay, it's going to go in so far, and then it'll pop in the rest. Now there's a nice satisfying click when you know it's all the way in there. But like I said, when you grab this thing, grab it by the base. Don't grab it up here, because I've already, almost broke this antenna taking it on and off. Now, another thing about this model on the inside, and I'm kind of jumping around, the battery strap. I've got the big drive battery in here, and the only battery is plugged in right now is just the little two cell to run the lights and the servos. This is a 4300. I've got it in here just for demonstration's sake. A 5000 one I normally run, and I run all the way in as far as I can get it in there. The battery strap that they give you are substantial. However, they give it to you way back here. Well, no one's going to have, unless you got a 10,000 milliamp battery. I put the strap up front, and I'm going to tell you, on mine, the channel, okay, I put a piece of Velcro, and I just kind of glued that in. There's a nice pad here. To take this out of here and then move it up to here was an absolute nightmare, because there's like no room. And I was almost tempted to break the wood out, but I said no. And I came up with a great idea. Took a long piece of wire, hooked it through here, shoved the wire through, and then pulled this strap through here, because it's very tight. Trying to fish it through with its own by itself is nearly impossible. Don't even attempt it. Just go ahead and take a piece of wire, stiff wire, and then pull it through. Just poke you a little hole right there on the end. You can probably see it better here. Just poke you a little hole there and pull that through. That's about the only way you're going to get that strap through. Me and my wife fought with that, and I said, hey, here's an idea, and that's what worked. Nice thing, the hatch will pop right open for you, but you do have to pull it back to close it. Now, another mod that I highly, hold on, coffee time. Another mod that I highly suggest you doing is you're going to have to access, this is such a big model for this room, you are going to have to access, uh-oh, I'm on the roof. I'm on the roof, man. We're on the roof. On the roof. Okay, Okay. You're going to have to access this. When you first, if you're using Spectrum, okay, if I can do this and not ruin my tail on the roof there. Okay, very tight hatch. Put your piece of tape on there, okay, a little tab, because it fits in there so tight. When you pull that hatch, it releases, but you can't grab a hold of it. And there's not enough of a tab, that little thing, to grab to for your fingers. So put your little piece of tape on there. Now, if you're running a Spectrum, like I am, as you can see, I've got an AR620 there, okay? This is where I have it. More than enough range. It did great, passed its range test. Perfect. If you have a Futaba, then all you got to do is run your S-Bus and you're in good shape, okay? But if you're using Spectrum, you're going to have to use the supplied cables, and including one of the S-Bus cables. And if you you pull this box off of here, it'll show you on the underside what each of the cables are. Just run that diagram, white side up towards the bottom of the plane. That's like your light, your negative or your positive. And then run that to your receiver, okay? This is the point I'm trying to make, though, about this. With this box, if you start playing around with this button, then it has all kinds of preset mixes that have to do with throttle and your elevator to flat mixes, and they may not be what you want. Works great with a Futaba, it mates right in, but with a Spectrum, it's going to fight you tooth and nail. And there is nothing in the manual that tells you how many clicks, how to run through the sequences, or whatever you want to do. But if you leave it alone, plug it in, and you have this slow flash, then all this box does, it doesn't interfere with you in any way. All it does is it lets you have full control, and then it just runs, it just runs the power to all the servos by that 2-cell battery, or that two cell battery you've got there, which is nice because that 2-cell battery runs all your servos, your receiver, okay, and that way your main big battery just runs the ESC and the motor. That way that'll give you a flight time. Oh gosh, you could probably fly this thing for 15 minutes with the throttle management, because both those batteries are running to keep this thing going. But conservatively, 8 minutes to 10 minutes, no problem. I like to run my planes only for 5 minutes because, videos get so long that... Okay, we'll back off of that now. I think I made the point. Is that just leave that slow, you've got that slow flash, you're in good shape. So that's that. But I definitely suggest put that tape mod on there, because that is a booger bear to try to get off of there. Okay. Let's talk about the flight performance. There's really nothing else in the build that you need to look out for. If you've ever put any planes together, it's just the regular, all Phillips head screwdrivers. There is no hex head. It's all Phillips head. I do remember that. Nice suspension on that nose gear, and also this main gear does have a natural flex. It's not going to break on you. It's got a nice flex. Let's talk about the flight characteristics of this plane. All right. Mine plane needed a lot of trim right off the bat. It seemed like it needed a little bit of down elevator. And if I remember right, a little bit of, even though sitting here, all the control surfaces are nice and flush, it's like you put a plane up in the air, it looks great on the bench, then you get it in the stair, well, it needs trim. Well, it's going to need some trim, so you get it up high and get her trimmed out. But once I got her trimmed out, this plane flies amazing, folks. It does. It flies absolutely incredible. Very predictable, as it should be. A nice big high wing trainer type. There is one characteristic that surprised me, though. This plane carries so much momentum. The size of it is deceptive. If you're used to flying, 1.3 meter planes, a lot of these regular planes, when you fly something this size that's this heavy, because it's a fairly heavy plane, that momentum is deceiving. So when you come in for a landing, you're going to need more room. I had to give it full down flaps and dead stick it in order to keep it on my 400-foot runway. Okay? So you need to understand that. I didn't do grass offs because when I did the Maiden, the grass was so wet. Just didn't want to get the plane all filthy and dirty. But I will tell you, she will handle the grass. There's plenty of room between these pants and the ground. These pants they're foam. They can easily be taken off. However, you'll have to disassemble that nose gear and in order to take those pants off there. Okay, if you want to do away with the pants, and that would make it you got really big wheels on there, so they'd be fine on the grass. But I take the time to take the pants off if you're going to do grass offs. Okay, but really other than that, she's very predictable in the air. Plenty of power. You've got no problem. You're not lacking on power. But a lot of people have said, well, that's a beautiful plane, but it just looks like the FMS Skytrainer. Yes, it does. So let's do something kind of fun here. We've gotten all the serious stuff. Now let's do something kind of fun. I'm going to show you the comparison, the daddy versus baby of the FMS Skytrainer. And you can see the size comparison there. Okay? Substantially larger. You've got a 3-bladed prop. You've got the landing lights are the same. You've got the nav lights are the same. The addition, and you've got a light on the top of the tail. Those fins, same thing. The only thing this plane's got that this one doesn't is it's got flashing white lights on either side, and it's got a tail light, very bright tail light that shines in the back, which gives you great orientation. Other than that, they're almost identical. Even if you look at the number, the tail number, the N9258, and you look at the side of this plane, and what does it say? N9258. And of course and this has the antennas, I just don't have the antennas on right now. And with this plane, they're strictly ornamental. So I just wanted to show you that. I thought that was neat, just how close they are in comparison and how they look. Just this one's just a heck of a lot bigger. Oh yes, all the control surfaces, even the flaps. I don't know, camera crew, can you come up here and look down here in this hinge here? All of these hinges there's no foam hinge here. This is mechanical, heavy-duty nylon hinges. Flaps included, rudder included, elevator included. Everything is heavy-duty. If you look underneath, you have metal. I don't know if you're able to see that. Metal servo arm or control surface arms. Ball link. Everything here, you can come up here now. Everything on this model is quality. Strong, reinforced. These control arms screw into hard, if you look on the back of the flap, hard mounting plates. Wide mounting plates. This is a model. You can back up now, please. Thank you. This is a model that is meant for long-term ownership, and as they all should be. But I'm blown away with the quality of of this plane. These hard plastic doublers that the wings join into. The strength, how thick and beefy the landing gear is. The suspension, the drive, the characteristics. The only gripe I really have is I don't like this. I don't like these antenna system. They work fully functional. I trust them. I just don't prefer them because I'm already breaking this one. So just be careful. Make sure you grab it by the base, not by the longer end of it. But other than that, it is money well spent, folks. It's a $400 plane. It's worth every penny. It really is. I cannot not recommend this plane. I really, really like it. I'm very pleased with it. I think you will be very pleased with it. And I just want to thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for being part of our little man cave, Fat Guy Flies RC little community we got going here. And thank you so much. Folks, thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And don't forget, faith, family, friends, and then planes. Bye, y'all.